Wait, you just said something that sounded super easy and super simple, but I'm going to push back a little bit and ask you this question. Is everybody ready to take inventory? Because the way you phrased it, hey, just sit down and, hey, do I like this? Do I like that? Right. I think a lot of people, and I guess my friend is in that same spot. And I think the challenge is separating the work from the worker. Right. Because I think a lot of people their identity becomes what it is that they do. Right. Think about, how do you know your neighbors? Oh, it's the dentist. Oh, that's the lawyer. Oh, that's the doctor. Oh, that's the firefighter. Right. Your identity becomes your work. How do you separate the work from the worker to get the clarity to say, I'm going to sit down now and take an inventory? I guess my assertion back to you would say, I don't know that everybody's ready to take an inventory. And if so, what do you have to do to get yourself in a spot where you can sit down and take a purposeful inventory, an inventory that has meaning to it? I mean, anyone could just jot down some shit on paper and say, "Oh, I'm great, I'm blah, blah." But how do you do it in a sense that it's going to be meaningful and it's actually going to be purposeful for you?
So a couple things. One, the first assertion you made is not everybody's ready to take an inventory, and you're exactly right. But I would wager that of the people who have been following along, have stumbled through their Apple Podcast or Spotify podcast feed, came to this podcast, said, "Hey, Lon and Adam are rambling, and I wonder what they're going to talk about today." And oh my gosh, they're talking about, should I take an inventory on the life I have and balance it against the life I want? I would assert that 100% of the people listening right now are like, I need a better inventory. So I totally agree. Not everybody's ready. I wasn't ready when I was 35. I loved what I was doing. I loved what I was doing when I was 40. I loved what I was doing pretty much right up until I left. I just felt like I've got a bigger dance in me, damn it. And I took a new inventory. And my inventory for 15 years through 3 different jobs in that company kept me in that company. My inventory when I left had changed. My inventory said, go bet on you, man. You'll regret it if you don't. So that's number one. That's the first thing. Not everybody's ready for that, but probably almost everybody listening to this is like, okay, I'm ready to take a new inventory. The second point you're making is, how do you do it? It sounds easy. What's the 10-step plan? And I don't know that there is one. So I've got this coaching community called Vintage. Vintage is a group of 6 people, and it's an intimate coaching relationship with me and 5 others. And we, before month 2 of 8 months, we know everything about one another. And that is by design, because everybody is exactly who we've already talked about in this podcast. I would trade what I've got, and it's been fantastic. And it cost me a lot to get here. I traded a lot to get here, but I don't know what I would trade it for. And that's scary and frustrating, and I don't know what to do about it. They're at this intersection that you're talking about of, how do I take a new inventory? So to answer your question is, yeah, you can read books. You can read The Trade. You can read 1,000 other books that are out there that kind of help you find your true north. There's 1,000 different books with 1,000 different titles, all trying to help you find your passion, right? Find your art. It's all those things. We're all saying the same thing. But one thing you really can do and should do, and it got better once I did it for myself, is find someone who's been through it before. Take an inventory with somebody who knows how to do inventory. Find somebody, not because you think they have your answers. Find somebody who probably has your right questions that you should be wrestling with. And then just listen to yourself talk. And how do I know this works? Because I've done it about 820 times on Free Rambles. This is what I do. People don't know it, but I'm just helping them take inventory. Take an inventory of who they are, what they have, where they came from, what they've achieved, and how they feel right now, right up to this moment. That's the inventory to now. And then I shift the conversation. Where do you want to be in 6 months? Where do you want to be in 1 year? What's the dream in your life in 5 years from now? What's your spouse's dream in 5 years from now? Where will your kids be? And now we've got an inventory. And they usually don't know what the inventory of their future looks like. So we talk about it in terms of ingredients. And I would ask anybody, if you want to do this for yourself, please do it. Here's the simple questions. What's the dream? I will ask you, what's the dream? Articulate it to the best you can. And you're going to sit there with a confused look on your face and say, well, that's the stupidest question ever, because I wouldn't be listening to this goddamn podcast if I knew what the dream was. And you know what? You're right. It's a trick question. And I ask it on purpose because the only way I can get to the next question is for you to realize you've got a problem to deal with here. You got a problem you got to take on. So the next question is, fine. You don't know what your dream is. I didn't either. Okay, that makes you normal. But in 2 years, if your life is going better than it is today, and you're living what you assume to be the mission you're here to live next, what are the ingredients? Are you in a W-2 income or are you working for yourself? Are you in a startup or a big company? Are you a solopreneur or are you teamed up with 10 others creating a business? Are you working for a Fortune 100 company or sitting in your living room creating something for yourself? Are you making something better that already exists or are you doing something brand new? Are you in the same house as you live in now? Are you in the same community? Are you in the same friend group? All of these things. What are just the ingredients? That's it. What are the ingredients? And if you can list 15 ingredients of the life you want to live in 3 years, and then you reread them, guess what? You've got more definition of what your dream really is and what it is no longer than you thought. And that's all I do in a ramble. I just organize it for you. And then I read it back to you. And it tends to blow people's mind with how much clarity they actually have if they would just slow down and think about it. So look, I kind of went off there, but that's how I would coach people to go through how do you take this inventory?